Well, hello everyone for the first time tonight for sure, and absolutely on time with no technical difficulties brought on by Windows 11 upgrade. Hi, we are back for some another heart-wrenching, serious, grimdark adventure of FOMOsapiens, which is a game about adorable animals doing chaos and crime sometimes. So, why don't we do that thing where folks introduce themselves and tell us what you remember? Because it's been a long time. Tell us what you remember about your character. SJ, you just put something in your mouth, so let's start with you. SJ just got off work, so she's actually eating. I'm just being a jerk. No, we can do Misha. I'm sorry, I was just being an ass. Hey, Misha, how about you?
Oh, hi. I'm Misha, or Misha underscore lesson three on Twitch, or at Misha Wea on Twitter or Tumblr. This is FOMO Sapiens. I'm playing Paisley, the name I definitely remember the whole time, and not when Zero brought up the screen with our character names on it. She's an alpaca. She is excitable. An ideas kind of alpaca, a good mode of transportation because pretty much everybody else is smaller than her. I believe in as the special ability of being cute, so got that going for me. Um, Sounds good. Down to Beckwin.
Hi, I'm Beckwin. I'm playing Rakan, who is the very handsome raccoon. And previously, he stole a plane. Well, he didn't steal it. It was nobody was using it. It was ours anyway, and we needed it for things. Um, and he got to fly, and he kept these goggles that are on top of his head now. That he's keeping forever because he is a professional pilot. But that probably won't come into play this time. He's got new and exciting goals.
Good. At least someone has goals. Yeah, Victor, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm Victor. I'm evil underscore coded on pretty much anywhere except Tumblr. You can find my Tumblr over my dead body. And I will be playing Honk Solo, who I also most definitely remember the name of and didn't also just remember by seeing this wonderful little setup. Honk Solo is the goose. His great talent is honking. He's fantastic at it. He loves to do it. And my character goal from last time was to be evil. And I believe he's a little more grounded this time around, I think. But we'll get into that in a bit.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, SJ, you've had time.
All right. Yep. About halfway through my food. So I am SJ or SJ underscore sidekick. I'm SJ underscore sidekick everywhere. I do not stream, but I'm on here a lot. I'm playing Dampest the squirrel. Got that name from my super best friend neighbor. He has this mustache. Kind of looks fake, but whatever. My goal last time was to cook for him because I wanted to share with him our friendship. So made him this like cool nut medley thing with some acorns in it. He liked it so much he ate it way too fast. Started choking, had to save his life. No big deal. But yeah, and then we flew away. So now he's not my neighbor anymore, I guess.
It's true.
But
you succeeded in getting Juice to snack on these nuts, so that's...
Who's Juice? What?
I know, right? Exactly. Yeah, no one. It's fine. Yeah, so... Oh, and I'm Zero. Zero Daylight, whatever. Yeah. So, when last... And thanks, everyone, for reminding me, because also it has been a long time. When last we left these totally upstanding and non-chaotic beasts... I think you had hit the jackpot. You had flown away in a crop duster or something to escape the hordes of law enforcement and angry townspeople because you caused a little bit of a ruckus and found yourselves safely in a Target parking lot and with lots of fun stuff in the trash bins, including lots of clothes and things that are thrown away, last season stuff that Paisley can enjoy. Not a lot of acorns, but there's trees nearby. So, a word about the system, just so we're all on the same page. Loosely kind of a hack of Powered by the Apocalypse, so it should be familiar with anyone who's seen any of our Powered by the Apocalypse stuff. Really simple. Roll 2d6, add an attribute. And if you get a 6 or below, it's a fail. If you get a 7 to 9, it's a you kind of did it, but maybe there's a consequence. And a 10 plus is you did exactly what you wanted. Every animal has a individual goal. All those goals are things that normal people do. We call this one FOMOsapiens because this is about animals who have a fear of missing out. They see humans doing things and want to go do the same stuff, even though they're horribly unsuited to do so. You are mutants or something, I don't know. You can speak to each other, but you cannot speak to or understand other animals. And while you may understand that the strange grunting and hooting noises that the humans make are language, you don't really know what they're saying. So that creates a little bit of a problem, but you can, like I said, communicate and cooperate very freely with each other. It is a game of chaos and silliness, so this will be a very yes and situation. So before you pick or tell everyone what your individual goal is, let me set the scene. So you have found yourself, well, you had found yourself after crashing the plane that you stole or borrowed or whatever, in a Midwestern town in a parking lot. You lived high on the hog for a few days, but eventually people realized that there was a strange menagerie of creatures hanging out, and I'm sure at least one of them was honking aggressively at shoppers. So eventually someone was called out to deal with you. Now, this is the Midwest, and everyone's very friendly. It's also the middle of winter, and it's about to be the holiday season. So your greatest fear, being captured by animal control, did not come to pass. Instead, you were captured by a couple of humans who were kind to you. I mean, aside from the running around and catching you when you didn't want to be captured. But once they had captured you, they were quite kind. They've been feeding you very well. I think Rakan has probably put on a few pounds. He's getting lots and lots of wet cat food and tins of sardines and things. Honk is getting not soggy old bread that you have to fight the other birds off for, but like wonderful, like little nuggets of deliciousness. Dampus is getting whatever you scrounge because you're impossible to keep caged, but you hang out because your friends are nearby. And Paisley, if anything, they are grooming you too much. They're petting you constantly. And it's over a period of a couple of weeks that like things start to change a little bit. They start introducing some new things, and it's because they're nice and because it's slow, you don't quite pick up on the theme, but like they start making Honk wear a little red and white striped bow around his neck. They insist on putting a funny floppy hat with a jingly bell on Paisley's head. They put some sort of weird little, like a vest jacket on Rakan, and they keep trying to get these little pointy ears, like even pointier than your own ears, in a little headband to stay on your head, little rubber band around it. And they keep making these cooing noises and looking at each other and laughing and smiling at how you look. They want to tie a little one of these little jangly bells to Dampus's tail, and it probably stays on for a minute or two, but then you're up in a tree. And then one day you're let outside and it's snowy, and you would think it's very cold, but you're let into a little enclosure, and there are these pillars that radiate light and heat. It's actually quite nice. And then the people start to come. You are in a petting zoo, a Christmas-themed petting zoo. And you are just coming up to realize this fact. Now, with that context, before we build out any more of the situation of the world, talk about, tell us what your individual goals are. I'll start with Batty because Rakan already has a goal in mind. And I'm sure it's going to be totally fine.
Yeah, that's what you're hoping for. Fine.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll not be a problem at all.
All right. Rakan wants the star on the top of the tree,
Oh,
and he wants to give it as a present to someone.
aw. Do you want just any old star on the top of any old tree? Or do you want
there's probably a really big tree in the middle of this petting zoo with a really big star on it?
There isn't.
Oh.
There's a fine look. I mean, there's a decent sized tree with an okay star on it. However, in the magical picture box that the humans kept in your enclosure, you have seen a couple of glimpses of some sort of glass palace with hundreds or potentially thousands of humans milling around carrying brightly colored packages. And in that place is a tree. It's a huge tree. It's amazing too, because I don't think you've ever seen a tree the size of a tree you would see in the forest, a mature adult tree. But this is inside one of the humans' buildings, and it is glowing with light. There are boxes and things piled underneath it, garlands and ribbon. And at the very, very top is a massive star. So, up to you whether you want to settle for okay looking star, or if you want to go for broke.
Yeah, I need that really big one.
Probably.
It's important for things.
Who else has an idea of what your animal wants to guess? What does Honk want to accomplish?
So I mentioned earlier that Honk's last goal was the very vague and kind of almost unachievable goal of being evil, right? A very normal human goal. This time around, he's a lot more grounded, and he's decided instead he wants to amass an evil army.
Why do it yourself when you can have an army?
Exactly. He's a year old. He's, however many days it's been since last time older. He's realized, I could put myself in danger, or I can put my minions in danger instead.
Do you have an idea of what type of minions or what qualities your minions would need to possess?
I think because we're at a petting zoo, he sees all these humans that come by, and they're all so charmed by him already. I think he thinks humans are easy pickings to be a part of his evil army.
And if they proved to be, because you've had some dealings with humans before, and I think you did learn that you have ability to distract and intimidate them, because geese are monsters. But if they proved to be intractable, would you seek another type of minion, or would you try to find some creative way of gaining control of the humans?
I think Honk would try to find a creative way to gain control of those humans. I think he's dead set on having a human army to carry out his evil deeds.
Well, what I will say is that many of the humans do, because you're lovely and your feathers are very sleek and you're well fed and you've got your bow on. So many do like come and look and point at the little humans, and the little humans like wave and things like that. I will say though that you don't necessarily have the friendliest disposition, and probably even when you try to maybe put on a little show to attract more attention, it's either an awkward waddle or you begin hissing at them. So it's one of those things that get close and then you move and say, oh, I don't know about that. But on the second day, and you guys have challenges with reading, but there is some more humans show up, and there's a little pen put up quite near yours, and some sort of sign. And there are some small creatures, puppies, many of them. and they attract so much attention. It is amazing. I mean, people still want to hang out with Paisley. Some of the small humans like try to climb on you and ride you, which is maybe not super duper cool. But most of the attention has been taken by the puppies. And one thing you have noticed, Honk, because you are a schemer at heart, is that humans with puppies are easily fooled. They seem to lose focus. They will if they're holding a puppy, they'll get real near you and they'll like show you to the puppy, and that their sense of fear goes away. There must be something about the proximity of these puppies that drains them of intelligence. But it does appear that they seem to be much more influenceable, much more malleable when they are in proximity or physical contact with a puppy. Just an observation you've made. Who else has a personal goal?
What Honk Solo really needs to do is take that big guy in red off the throne and just take over his little green minions with the pointy ears.
That would be a viable option too. However, what is Dampus or Paisley's personal goal?
Oh, well, Paisley really thinks all of these people could use some Christmas cookies and would probably like to make them some. They keep using the magical machine to get food, and I've been eating that, but they haven't been eating that at all. And I don't know why. It's probably not good enough for them, which, I mean, I think it's tasty, but they probably just need something a little special for the holidays, you know?
Mm.
Yeah.
So you want to bake Christmas cookies for people?
Yeah. Yeah. It's very easy, I've heard.
Yeah.
So
for fun
I
or
can
for
give
profit?
you some tips. I'm a great cook.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
Exactly.
You've only nearly killed one person.
Surely nothing, just for fun,
Just for fun.
for the spirit of things.
Just to be nice. Okay,
Yes.
cool. Yeah, so I think the thing you've noticed is that there's a lot of cookies and candy, and like every human seems to have something, especially the small ones. And there's places around the petting zoo where people are exchanging their leaves for, like apples covered with some sort of sweet smelling coating, and little bags of you probably know what popcorn is. There's a lot of food around. It probably occurs to you that if you are going to make cookies, this is a high competition environment. So you are going to probably need to find a way of, putting a little extra zhuzh for your cookies. Something special, something about them that will attract the attention of the humans. Stand out from the glut of cookies and candy, etc., that is available at this time of year.
What if it was the biggest cookie? They couldn't resist the
Right.
biggest cookie.
It's true. These are all relatively small.
They're very small.
Yes. Well, think about that. Dampus.
Those cracker things for myself. Would like to acquire one for my tree.
Yes. Eminently practical. You have seen them on the box that makes pictures. You have seen some of them around through the windows of the home that these humans that have captured you share. So I think it's a similar dilemma to Rakan's, which is, do you want a bunch of little ones? Do you want like a super special one? Do you want one of the giant life-size ones that you've seen on the picture tube?
I don't know. I would be able to operate that one.
Well, that seems like a very logical, reasonable, and rational way of thinking about things, therefore completely unsuitable for Dampus. Just saying. Just think, you don't have to decide.
It's got to fit in the tree.
Just think about how smart Dampus is.
Mm-hmm.
And whether Dampus would think like, oh, that's too big to fit in a tree, or it's the size of a tree. I don't even need a tree, and think how many nuts it can crack. Whichever.
That's true.
However, I will say in game, as you are maybe like getting a little bit of a breather from being pestered by humans because there's a pile of puppies right next door, and talking about the things that you'd like to do, because it is a little bit boring just being gawked at all day. I will say Dampus probably does share the idea with Honk of, well, if you really want power, they all seem to be paying attention to that man on the throne, and he does seem to have minions. Rakan is dressed like one of them, in fact. Little green jacket, little pointy ears. And now Nyx is like, no, I will rule. I will fight you.
Nyx is stealing the whole show.
That's true.
Did you drop it? Did she drop it?
Oh,
She did.
no. There we go. Cool. So if you would like Honk to think about your strategy, you now have multiple options. You can lull humans into placidity with puppies, or you can find a way to conquer the human with the bushy white hair and the red suit and the minions in green clothing. So that is where it is. We start on a day. You don't know days of the week, but it's the day that the puppy adoption drive is happening at the petting zoo. What happens?
Oh, thank goodness they are all looking at those puppies. I don't know. It's been very busy, I say, turning my head. It jingles. You know, we should try and help them all. You know, get into the spirit of the season. Maybe.
No, they're awfully annoying. Like, they're nice now because they're with the cute dogs or whatever over there. But what are you thinking of?
Well, you know, I was reading in the latest paper. I say, showing the half-eaten paper, because you know, chewing on paper is good. That there was some caroling going on, you know, for the holidays, going out singing some Christmas carols round, and I thought that would be just a delight for us to do as well. Really, you know, help people. Maybe even just leave the premise. You're supposed to go places when you do that, right?
Yeah, we've seen it on the picture tube.
Well,
Big picture box had all the pictures of all the people walking around singing. We could do that.
yes. And Paisley, you might have experience with this. They were either hippies or preppers. I'm not sure which we landed on. But the people who had you in their backyard back in your hometown probably took you around with them last year, caroling. So you know exactly what this is.
Yeah. It's easy. We just go up to a door and we knock on it, and then we sing 1 to 5 songs, depending on how much they like it. And then they give us stuff, and then we just go to another door. I've heard there's figgy pudding or something.
What's a figgy?
A type of fish.
Who is Carol? My name is Rakan.
And my name's Paisley, but
I know,
that doesn't matter right now.
But you want to go find this Carol person and then sing at her or something. I don't. How many doors do we find? I don't have time for this. I already have a goal. I need to find this tree.
Well, listen, people love singing in front of trees, too. You saw it on the picture. They showed the big tree, and there was that group with the little scarves and the mittens, and they're holding their folders of music, I think. We need those. We need all the words and things.
Do you think, maybe, because you said they sing 1 to 5 songs, if we just swapped out one song, and one of the songs was hypnotizing people to be my minions, do you think that would be okay? Because you have the other 4 songs.
I mean,
Just want one
I
little
feel
song.
like that's fine as long as you can find a hypnotizing song.
We can't
I
read
can
the
make it up.
songs.
Oh, I can read, can't you?
Yeah.
See? Easy. It'll be easy enough to read them all.
Yes.
But where do we want to go find Carol?
Well, let's see. Carol's probably by that tree.
Tree in the Glass Palace?
Could
Where
be in
the-
Glass Palace.
That's where the big guy is. The one with the red. And all the little green guys, like the one Rackin's dressed like.
Yeah,
He's got all the minions.
he certainly
Already
does.
has claws.
Very proper of him. Good for threatening his minions.
Very good, evil man.
Well, he probably knows Carol then.
Oh.
Maybe he has Carol held hostage and they're singing for her release.
Oh, that seems likely. Maybe that's why you have to go door to door, because you don't know where she's hidden this year.
Trying to find Carol.
And then whoever finds Carol gets to be the new person in red. Honk. This is a
find
good
Carol.
idea. Yes. And a tree. And the tree. The tree in the picture box.
We'll go to
real
the tree.
power.
We'll find Carol. We'll. Oh, this is perfect. This is perfect.
We probably have to sing to Carol, because otherwise she's not going to choose you as the.
Oh,
It's
yes.
Santa, that's why you gotta sing.
I will work on my singing voice.
You begin honking wildly. People go, ah! Puppies start yelping. Yes. Maybe after listening to enough of the box that makes music over the past week or so, you started to piece together a little bit of the story of this man in a red suit with claws. And there is something about how he constantly watches you all the time to judge all of your actions. And
He's
if
a
you
list.
are and if you aren't good, he punishes you. You know, because it's a song and story for kids.
As every good evil ruler should do.
Yes, he's a real role model for megalomaniac geese. All right, well, the commotion caused by Honk's singing dies down a bit. What happens?
So what's the plan? How do we get out of here?
Well, let's see. How much longer do you think you're there looking at those puppies?
No, they'll be there all day.
All right. Do we need anything from around here before we head out?
I'm gonna grab a couple of these snacks that I need for things. And then Rakan's just gonna stuff his face full of stuff.
Yeah.
I think, Rakan, you should bring your little green suit. Maybe we can sneak in. You can pretend to be one of the little green people. And that's how we sneak into the glass palace.
Yes. Rakan smells like Fancy Feast all the time because he has decided that is his favorite cat food. Anything
What
else?
do you, Dampus? What do you want to do? We've got our plans.
I want one of those things that you put the nut in, and you just smash it, and then boom, it's open.
That would make your life so much easier.
Right?
That's genius.
You know,
Those are in the glass palace too, right?
I don't know. I think so.
If they're not
Maybe.
there, I'm sure they'd be around.
Well, there are some small ones, rather dusty ones that you've seen on shelves in the house nearby. And then there's the big, giant, shiny ones.
So,
Yeah, sounds good. I don't think I'll need anything here. Maybe on the way back. I just need to pick up some ingredients for some cooking. I thought I could whip something up that is so much better than those snacks they're all eating. They don't even appreciate all the food that they give us, you know? you see them go hungry and they grab one of those over there, and it's covered with all that sticky stuff. I don't really understand it.
Did so well cooking together last time. I mean, it's only fair if we help you this time.
Oh, wonderful. Well, get the gate for me, will you, Recon?
Oh, yeah, not a problem. Gate.
One of the humans that has kept you captive and has been fattening you up sees you fiddling with the gate and kind of goes, "Me, me, me, me," and kind of taps your little hand because they're right there. Everyone's kind of, all the humans are gathered very near your pen because the puppy pen is very close by. Even though they aren't paying direct attention to you, you realize it's going to be difficult to sneak out without their attention because you're literally like 10 feet away.
Okay, so what we do is I'm going to cause a ruckus, and then you all sneak out through the back. And I'm going to flap my way over as close as I can get to the puppy pen and just start honking up a storm.
You could, because you can fly. Although you've also maybe put on a few. So, because you've been fed very, very well. But yeah, you can fly into the puppy pen if you'd like.
I think I'm going to be around the puppy pen where
Okay.
the humans are. I think the puppies, I look at the puppies and they're like, you have done nothing wrong. You've been brought into this cold, hard life where you are nothing but adorable and the humans can't stop touching you.
I see.
You don't deserve my ire.
All right. Well, so you are evil but fair. Okay. Cool. Well, hey, that sure sounds like you're making a honk move.
Sure that is. So I roll 2d6 and then I add my honk to
Yes,
it, right?
correct.
The total. That is a 9.
All right. So not quite a complete success. However, you do accomplish the goal that you intended in Maine. So I will say it's just, maybe it's a little bit hard, and geese are not great. Like you have to like get a little bit of a running. And so you kind of like run and then you flap and wind up kind of climbing / falling over the fence. And the fence is not super high. And then you kind of have to run off to the side a bit to get up enough speed to start flapping and then swing back around. And as you come in for a not so graceful landing, you wind up kind of crashing into a group of humans who have little brown balls on sticks. And as soon as you like come at them, they kind of hold those out almost to protect themselves. So you crash into 2 or 3 of them. They're very, very sticky. So you are now covered, or you now have 3 candy apples attached to you.
All right. Yeah, I just start running around, honking around, flapping what I can. These candy apples are stuck to me, which is a little annoying. So I'm honking even louder.
Yes.
I'm trying to get like the our owners essentially to like pay attention to me. Look how bad I'm being.
Yes, everyone's kind of confused because you look very odd because you're moving very fast and you're whipping your head back and forth. But it's a little off the side because you have an upside down candy apple stuck on the top of your head. So it's almost like a goose-acorn situation. So people are kind of like, what is this part of the show? I don't know. The other consequence of the not quite success is that the humans are confused and begin kind of, well, certainly backing away. And all the attention is 100% on you because that was your main goal. Something about either your behavior or the smell of the candy apples is very attractive to the puppies. So they begin kind of clambering over themselves and pushing on this very shoddy little wire enclosure, and the humans are not paying attention. So within 10 seconds, they have kind of knocked their way through the gate and are now chasing you in their kind of bumbling, falling over, very cute, tubby little way. So you are now leading a parade of excited puppies who are just trying to get up to you and get a hold of the candy apples. What is everyone else doing?
Take one of those apples.
Well, I suppose I should be opening the gate now. For Paisley.
Make a hands roll.
10.
Yeah, no problem. Rakan is just like watching this and doesn't even look and just reaches over and click because it's just a latch. And the gate creak swings open. Now what happens?
Oh, thank you, dear. Time for me to sneak on out of here while they're looking. I'm the stealthiest of alpacas
Yes.
with my jingle bell hat. Let's see. Oh yeah, all of mine are 1, so it's very easy to do math. I got an 8.
All right. So you don't attract attention from the main group of humans. You only attract attention from one small one. And that one small one, like, walks over to you and looks you in the eyes and then reaches into a little bag and then holds up a little hand of popcorn to you. A little greasy, sticky hand.
Oh, popcorn. I'm going to eat the popcorn. Like, it's very nice of them to offer the popcorn.
Yes. And this little human begins petting you. It's a little, like, maybe it pulls a little bit more than you'd like because the hands are so sticky. But it's nice. It's not trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then before you know it, it climbs on your back.
All right. Well, that's fine. I'll sneak out with them. No one's going to miss them.
Sure.
These little humans love caroling, right?
Yeah.
Or
Or,
Carol, I guess. You know, whoever.
Right. Caroling is looking for Carol.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. Looking for
naturally,
the
Dampus jumps on their back.
Yes. So you are not going to try to sneak. You are going to try to, like, be acrobatic and move to leap onto the back of a small child.
Yeah, why should I walk when Paisley's got us?
That's true.
6, 7, 8. Oh, shit, I'm not on the right sheet. Oh, move is +2, so 10.
Well, you do. And because it's a 10, the child doesn't immediately freak out because a tree rat jumped on their head. This is apparently a very strange human who finds that kind of thing to be completely not upsetting. And will start petting you with one sticky hand while they pet Paisley with the other sticky hand. And they now have this bag of popcorn in their lap. And it is, a few little kernels are falling out and you are free to harvest them at your will.
Oh, absolutely.
Rakan, that just leaves you, well, and Honk, but Honk is still the center of attention. How would you like to escape?
Yeah, I'll just sneak out.
All right, let's see how well you do not getting noticed.
13.
Oh, God. Yeah, no one knows where you are. I think it's because you make your way through a crowd of people who are also dressed as but in the same kind of green outfit.
As a minion, yes.
Yes. And so that you lose any people who are watching you in the crowd and then pop out the other side. Well, that's great. You guys are now free to leave, except for Honk. You have attracted a lot of attention, humans and puppies. And the humans are having a hard time deciding to do that thing that people do when they're trying to corral geese and just like waving their hands aimlessly. It doesn't work because geese do not care. They will not pay attention. And then others are chasing after the puppies, and some of the children are chasing after the puppies, and the parents are chasing the children. So you're basically just running this circle around the puppy pen that's just getting larger and more chaotic and problematic every moment. What do you do?
I think I'm going to try to like basically just keep running around trying to amass a very large crowd and then attempt to just like sneak out between like the legs of some people throughout the crowd.
So they keep running around in circles.
Yeah, and then I do like the Looney Tunes thing where
Yes.
I go around the other way.
All right. Well, I think that's move. Well, no. That is sneak. That is sneak. Because it's wily.
Devious. That is oof. That's a 5.
Well, either something terrible happens, or I do believe we might have some boons. Let me see. We don't. We have one minor bane. Chad is not being very kind and giving in this holiday season, so I'm sorry. It seems like you gotta stick with that 5. So something terrible goes wrong. I think. Thanks, Bro Gullet. We don't have a minor boon, but that was only enough to get it to a 6. Oh, there we go, John. All right. Chad has been shamed into generosity. On YouTube later, we have a system where people can give bits for boons and banes. So we now do have both a minor and a major boon. So if you would like to spend that major boon to re-roll that 5, it is your choice. You do not have to. You're not going to die as a result of failure, but it's your choice.
My rolls haven't been very good, is the thing. So
Maybe you're doing awesome roll. We'll see.
maybe. What do y'all think? Should I re-roll? Should I take the major boon, or should I just stick
just
with
go
the
for
terrible
it.
thing?
Use it or lose it.
Yeah,
All
Yeah.
right.
they're
Major
a
boon it
renewable
is.
resource.
I don't know who Boone is, but maybe they're close to Carol.
Could be Carol Boone.
Carol Boone.
That's a good name.
A 9.
Okay, so it succeeds with a complication. So you tighten the circle a little bit so that you're kind of weaving your way in between the trailing humans, and it's getting more and more chaotic, and puppies are going everywhere. And you're able to you scrape off one of the caramel apples on someone's leg, and you're able to use your beak to go around and pull off the other, and now that liberates your wings. You have no idea how you're going to get the one off your head, though, because you can't very well peck it off. So you're going to have to deal with that for a while as the complication. But the goosecorn is eventually able to kind of sneak off into some bushes and rejoin your friends. I don't know, in a neighbor's yard. So now what happens?
Oh, Honk, dear, you have something on your. There's just a little.
Hat. It's my new hat.
Oh, a new
I
hat.
gave it. The humans gave me a hat, and it's heavy, but it's my new hat.
I see. Are you sure it's not edible?
It might be. I saw the humans are maybe pecking away at it. If anyone wants to help me take it off, it's a little heavy.
I got it.
Okay.
Want the seeds inside.
Okay.
And save some for me too. I need to get some ingredients, and I'm sure just putting one of those in a nice cookie would be nice.
I'll store it.
Okay.
Well, Dampus, go ahead and give me a move.
Okay, well, I do have +2, so it's a 5, but still it's a 5.
We have a minor boon if you want to make it a 6. Meh. Yeah. So, You know what? In case someone is kind,
Like pull it off and like get it stuck to my own face.
well, in case someone is kind and drops a major boon, I'm going to spend that minor boon so that you can't overwrite it. You jump down and you grab it with your little hands, and they sink into this sticky coating. So you are now stuck to the candy apple that's stuck to the top of Honk's head.
Usacorn featuring Dampus.
Yes.
You know, I'm just gonna stay here and keep it more stable, I think.
Yeah. Keep it there, and we'll just cook
Maybe
it
I
up
can
later.
eat my way out.
Yeah. Two things. One is it's right near your mouth, and it does smell delicious. And also, as you're kind of looking side to side to try to talk to Paisley, you realize that as you move your hands back and forth, that kind of directs Honk. So it becomes like a joystick or steering wheel. So that's fun.
Ratatouille got nothing on me.
So
What's his name? Linguini?
Remy is the rat, I think, and the Linguini is the dude.
That's us. Look at us go. Oh my god, it's our holiday costume.
I need
That's
to see
what
if this
we do,
works for
right?
Paisley so I can help her cook.
true.
We'll try it later.
The magical cooking apple.
Well, so what do you do? What happens? There are probably a few people who are like using the little things that they have in their hands that take pictures. And I mean, the audience sees like, this is the weirdest thing. Animals are attacking each other. It's like this entire gang of weird animals are now attacking this goose, and now one of them stuck to his head. So yeah, you're gonna wind up on TikTok. But other than that, no one is accosting you.
Hashtag
I gotta get out of here. Kick it into overdrive.
Right. Yes. All right. Honk Solo. I would like you to give me a move with advantage. So roll 3d6 and take the two highest. Or re-roll your lowest, whatever however you want to do it.
is a 7.
All right, so which is perfect. It's fine. You got a squirrel and a giant candy apple on your head. So you begin to run, but it's very, very heavy. So your head is down and you're flapping your wings. It's very odd. But you can move and maneuver fine for now, even
Is
though
Honk Solo Naruto running his way around?
no, 100%. And then I think no role needed. Paisley and Rakan, you can follow, and Dampus, you're along for the ride. But where are you going?
We're going this way.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
I'm just gonna Paisley. Tampa should know where the big tree is, right? Because of trees. So we should just follow Dampus.
I never forget where stuff is.
See?
Definitely don't forget where I bury stuff constantly.
Nope.
Well, you see the seasonal stuff, those decorations, clearly that means we're going the right direction.
Sounds good to me.
So we should follow these decorative plants. Okay.
Yeah, as it gets more decorated, we're getting closer.
It might be. And you've been kind of running around town a little bit because, I guess the humans decided that it was very hard to keep you in, and you kept coming back, and they were putting out food for you. So you've seen some things. And in your little tiny squirrel brain, you think you might have picked up something that could be useful. Maybe. Because you've been here a few days. You've established a horde.
Let me look to see what I got.
Yeah. I mean, it could be nothing. Could be nothing but bottle caps, but it's possible.
Or it could be a 10.
Ooh, fantastic. So as you just by coincidence, as you're moving your way down, it's like, oh, my hoard's over there, or one of my hoards, because you probably have 17. You probably have 30, and you've forgotten all but two of them. And in the hollow of a tree, you have a variety of trinkets and rocks and random stuff. But there is a piece of paper, because you spent the night here once, and you used a piece of paper to keep yourself warm, and somehow you paid attention to what is on the piece of paper. And you retrieve it and pull it out, and then on the pavement, spread it out in front of you to show it to your friends. Because obviously Dampus can read, but you don't want to take the joy away from Paisley, your local scholar. And Paisley, this does look like maybe it's a page of a magazine. You're not quite sure. Maybe it's a flyer. And it does show a picture of this crystal kind of glass castle. And there is some sort of object moving straight toward it. It is long. It is probably made of metal. It is silver and yellow. It has wheels, but it has lots and lots of wheels. And those wheels aren't on a street like you've seen before. They seem to be on these two lines of metal that stretch off into the distance of this picture towards this glass castle.
Oh, I see. We need to take the metal car conveyance.
You also have to read the map between my hands because now my hands are stuck to the paper.
Oh, right. Well, you had to do your back feet and your
I had to
tail.
eat my way out.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a comical scene of Honk like pushing you up the tree while you're walking backwards up.
Yes.
Yes. So we merely get onto one of these, and then we shall arrive at the crystal treehouse. And all we have to do is look for where it is. Usually there's a matching sign. So we just look for one of those next to the garlands on the street stuff up there. And we'll see it. We'll see exactly where we need to go.
Is that everyone's plan?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can read. That's what it says.
Well, for sure. Well, so as you wander around, and you're attracting a bit of attention, but most of the humans, you have moved away from a place where it's largely human houses into a place where there's shopping, which of course is, I'm sure, very distracting for Paisley. And the humans here seem to be very focused. Unlike the ones at your petting zoo, these seem to be, maybe they just don't have the spirit of the season, but they seem to be scurrying about very frantically from shop to shop, acquiring massive amounts of goods. Maybe they're stocking up. I mean, this is they're behaving very much like squirrels, Dampus. So perhaps they're...
Get hibernation, probably.
Yeah, perhaps they're gathering lots of things to then go bury in their own backyards. You don't know. But as you cast about for any sign of where this conveyance might be, you do notice that there are some actual signs that have a drawing on them that does look remarkably like this conveyance. And I think Paisley reads well enough to understand which end of an arrow is the right one. So I think it probably doesn't even take a roll. Eventually you find yourself adjacent to some tracks in a little, like outside a little covered area. You have to cross the road, which of course, unlike where you started, the people here seem, I mean, you remember the people in your suburb that you're from. They didn't take kindly to seeing you in their area at all. The people here just stop their vehicles and kind of look at you. They seem kind of nice, actually. Maybe from Honk's perspective, they seem dull and easily manipulated. So depending upon your perspective. But they don't seem to be inclined to give you trouble. So,
Rakan found a picture of some fancy feast and is just staring at it now.
you're scooping out of one of the little plastic cups and then looking at another one because it's a flavor that you didn't bring with you.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Should look that pole over there.
Right. It is quite nippy. There is snow on the ground, but you're all animals. You're fine. So how are you going to board the light rail when it arrives? Because you can hear it coming.
Sneakily, like we belong. I mean, there's still this child on my back, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, they'll be our cover.
We're just a family. We're just a normal human.
A normal human family.
We need jackets. We need to look like we're humans.
I already look like one of them. I'm good.
Oh, so
We need a couple little metal things to, just in case we gotta, you take the metal things, you put it in the thing, and then you're allowed to do whatever.
Is that what those are for? I've been throwing them out.
I think, what if we also... Okay. Rakan can join them easily. We've got the little one on Paisley. So Paisley's in. Dampus, you can probably just sneak on in. And then I guess I join a family. And just walk in.
Yeah,
Nothing-
that sounds good.
Yeah. Nothing bad can come from this.
Of course not.
Sure. A few of the, as you get up to the point, there are some other larger humans, many of them carrying bags and boxes. Some of them are carrying so many that they're piled up so they can't hardly see where they're going. And they don't quite notice you, but a few of them have smaller bags. And at first seem to be charmed by the sight of this small human riding Paisley. And then they look around. And then their faces change, like maybe they become concerned. And one of them approaches the small human on your back and then asks something. I don't know. And then you hear the small human in back. And the large human looks very confused. And then begins talking over to another one.
I go up like the pant leg.
Yeah. But by this point, I will say you have eaten your hands free. You have little gobs of melted caramel on your hands. But yes. And your goosecorn horn now has a couple of little holes in it where Dampus has eaten themselves free. But that's fine. So you're just going to run up. Which one? There are two. There is a woman and there's a man. And the man is dressed in kind of a blue-gray, and he has a hat on, and he has a fancy piece of shiny metal on his chest. He's also carrying a black stick. Not in his hand, but attached to him.
I was gonna climb up the one that was talking to our little cover agent.
Ah, I see. Yes, so this woman goes over to the man in gray with the stick. And you run over and you climb up her skirt. And do what? Just go goblin?
Is that not enough?
I mean, it is. But is it like you just go up there and hang out, or are you just like going crazy? Like run around?
Yeah, I'm just gonna run around.
All right, well, give me a move.
Wow, these dice are amazing. 12.
Ooh. Yes. So the woman loses it entirely and has completely forgotten the child riding the alpaca by herself at the train station and begins pleading for help. And that was a great success. So the man with the hat and the gray clothes and the stick pulls out the stick and begins attempting to squash you, but you are too fast and too wily. So he winds up just smacking the crap out of the woman a lot, which then attracts an entire crowd of people who hold up those little slabs and then start chanting. And there's a huge crush of attention. So very well done. Many of the humans who appeared to have been waiting to board the conveyance are now completely distracted by this debacle that's occurring. What happens now?
If there's one that's still holding all of those packages and isn't looking at this, I'll just go sneakily stand over by them, because then we're a family now.
Ah, I see. Yes, there is one who has little white something in their ears, and probably looks over at that and kind of goes, and yes, well, the vehicle arrives, the doors open, a small number of humans get out and are immediately fixated on the fracas. And go ahead and give me a sneak and see how well you get in. That'll be a sneak for everyone, assuming that Dampus also wants to sneak away.
Okay, these dice are like perma 6-4 for some reason.
Beautiful.
I got 12.
Ooh.
11.
10.
Ooh, yay.
11.
Oh, everyone did well. Awesome. Yes, in the massive, soon to be on the evening news incident that Dampus has precipitated, you are able to sneak into this conveyance. Very shortly after you do, there's a chime and some sounds like someone speaking, but it's strangely attenuated, and the vehicle begins to move and it picks up speed. The vehicle is actually quite crowded. There's not a lot of, Dampus probably has no difficulty hiding. There are seats that Rakan and Hunk Solo can kind of hide under, but Paisley is just like full on. Alpacas are not tiny animals, and Paisley is not a small alpaca, so you're big enough that a child can ride you. So yeah,
We're not in New York. This would be totally normal on a subway.
Well,
very true.
Yes, and maybe you grew up in New York. Or you tell people that you're a Central Park squirrel. The people here seem to be, I don't know, like embarrassed. It's almost like their default reaction to anything strange is to apologize about it, as if it's their fault. And so, yeah, and then a few just like stand up and start talking to each other or to someone else, or the little girl, like, there's not anything weird going on. Yeah, you have a weird but reasonably successful ride. It only takes maybe 20 minutes. You do notice that there are a few other stops, and as soon as those sliding doors open and people see that there's a child riding an alpaca and maybe like a goose poking out between a couple of seats, they kind of go, and then walk away because they don't want to participate in whatever this is going on. But no one accosts you, and you are able to pull up into a facility. Now, you, Paisley, because you stand quite tall, can see out the windows that indeed this conveyance is taking you directly to, except it doesn't really look like a crystal castle. It looks like, well, a bunch of like buildings kind of stuff, but you can see that in the center there's this peak of glass and metal, and it's a gray day. There are a few flurries of snow against the window, and you can see this warm, inviting light glowing out from the center. Perhaps that is your destination. But yes, you arrive, and the doors open,
All right, everybody, this is our stop. Let's leave.
Mind the gap.
Mind the gap. Mind your step.
Yes.
And I think we just need to go in that building. So we're looking for music and the Red Man, and we gotta learn the song so we can sing them to find Carol. I need to go get some cooking stuff. You can help me out with that, Dampus.
Okay.
I mean, we already got this apple. Thanks for carrying that, Honk.
And we need the tree.
Yeah, and I think that'll be where the Red Man is on the throne.
So, game plan, Rakun. You and me, we go to the tree, we find the Red Man, we sneak in, we find Carol. Paisley and Dampus, you find cooking stuff, and then meet us at the tree, and we find Carol.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
All right.
Yes. So we have a raccoon dressed as a Santa's elf. This child you've abducted. Honk with candy on its head and a Dampus. You are for sure at the Mall of America. So what? And you're gonna split the party. Perfect. Couldn't go any better. All right, let's go around and so it's kind of like people are going to go off and you have your plan and you're going to meet at the tree in the center and then find Carol, release her from captivity so that Honk can become the next man in red. Do I have that right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Mhm.
All right. Well, let's go around. Let's start this way again. So Paisley and Child
And Dampus, who's coming with me.
and Dampus.
We need to find ingredients of cooking things.
Well, the good news is, as soon as you step in, all you can smell is a wide variety of food smells. I mean, it's not as good as Fancy Feast or Con, but it's pretty good. So,
All right.
and I don't know. I have no idea how good squirrel or alpaca sense of smell is, but it's good enough that you can tell like the smell of like burgers and things from the smell of sweets. And you can definitely smell the smell of baking.
Yeah. I figure when we enter, I'll just follow that nice cinnamon smell
Yes.
straight over. It will probably eventually arrive at the Cinnabon, is what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
But what we see is some people cooking with dough and there's like frosting, and I'm like, oh, well, we'll just need to get their things and then I can just make that. It'll be nice and easy. We'll just need to sneak in the back.
Need like
Okay.
a bag or something.
I'm sure they have bags. I say,
Probably
pointing at people grabbing to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they have small bags and some have boxes. But if you're going to make a massive cookie,
That's true.
you're probably going to need a big bag.
Right. Let's see. I'll turn my gaze around. Well, I guess we could make a big bag if we just get some of the fabric from one of these other stores. And then we can just put everything in a large sack or something like that.
Sure.
All right. We'll just sneak over in that store then and get some bag-like fabric.
All right. So this little girl is going to ride you into, I don't know if there's like a Joann's or whatever at Mall of America. But we'll say there is.
Victoria's Secret. This has holes in it.
Oh, actually, yeah, it is. It's what's that? Oh, geez. Name a store, a trophy store, a trophy mall store.
Hollister, Abercrombie, American Eagle.
Yeah, is Abercrombie still around?
I don't know if it is actually.
I have no
I
idea.
usually don't look at the.
There's a couple in like the tiny mall in like the city I used to live in
I
Canada.
don't think there's one in the mall that down there. I think
Old
there's
Navy.
a lot
Right.
of Macy's is probably there. They got rid of a lot of their corner stores.
It's
actually.
Baby Gap.
Doesn't matter.
It's Baby Gap.
Abercrombie and Fitch is funnier though because it's such a themed store.
Well, so you start to go there, but then there's this wash of this horrible chemical smell. It's like it's supposed to smell like flowers or something like that, but it's really awful. And there are these very greasy humans with few clothes on standing out in front, and you find it revolting to your core. So you're unable to bring yourself to entering that den of iniquity.
Oh, you know where we should go? The little girl on my back probably directs me. There's one of those probably kid boutiques.
Okay,
in the mall.
Gap Kids. It's
Limited
Gap Kids.
to-
Yeah, Gap Kids, stuff like that.
Because she's gabbling away and she's pulling on you. She's looking over there.
So we'll go over there because it's full of cloth also, and a child probably belongs in there. They all look small.
Yes. So your kidnapped victim has now gone full Stockholm syndrome is helping you. And
They climbed onto her.
I know, right? And they just climbed in the back of the van. It's not my fault. And you find yourself bringing this child into Gap Kids. What happens? Aside from everyone going, why is a child riding effectively a small fluffy pony with a long neck in this store? But these people are very polite.
Suitable for a bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should. I will also mention, I just remembered now that the Mall of America does have alpaca stores full of alpaca yarn. So
Oh, really?
Just keep that, yeah. And alpaca goods.
Oh,
and
man.
little stuffed alpacas.
Oh, that's
Just keep that in mind.
Oh, that's
But at any rate,
that's a good idea.
at the Gap Kids store, I guess we're just gonna we're just casually browsing, just going through the racks, knocking one over probably. I'm trying to push it aside and it's too much force because
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
What?
because you don't have
Would be
hands.
good. Yeah, probably the largest jackets we could find would probably be what we're going for because we could tie those together pretty easy.
Okay.
And there are probably some seasonal reds.
So why don't you both give me
Greens.
move rolls? So Dampus, this is going to represent your help, mostly you're helping Paisley, but you can grab some stuff.
7, 8, 9.
Okay.
I also got 9.
Okay. So you are able to gather a bunch of jackets and things that you figure that somehow you can tie together or whatever to hold a bunch of the sweet smelling good stuff from that one store. And strangely, although you do attract a lot of attention, no one yells at you. They just seem stunned and confused. But as you leave with, and the little child is trying to help you, just grabbing things, it's a little game and it's making giggling noises. But as you leave out into the open area of this structure, a very annoying sound happens.
Honk?
It's not as annoying as Honk's honk, but it comes from within the store. What do you do? And as soon as that happens, every human that you can see looks in your direction to see a little girl on an alpaca piled with coats and a squirrel. What do you do?
What is that?
We're blown.
noise?
Run up to us.
Yeah, it's time to run.
All right, give me moves.
Let's go.
We ain't staying around here. I don't know why it's making all that noise. I got a 10.
Oh, I
Oh,
also got a 10, but this time it was double 5s,
oh,
which would be a
excellent.
12.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Yes. You both. Serpentine. And so the camera cuts and sees all the humans looking. And then the soundtrack is just the clitter clatter of alpaca hooves on tile floors. Some apparently there are more. Maybe it's a family of people who only dress in gray. These don't have the shiny thing on their. They have writing on their clothing, not a shiny piece of metal. But some of those burst through the crowd and begin chasing you. The good news is that this is a callback to the scene at the puppy petting situation, because this area is shaped roughly like a circle and you're able to run around, but you're getting tired. And you realize that there are areas above you and below you. So it probably occurs to you that if you could only get to a different level of the structure, all the attention that you've attracted might fade.
We throw a couple coats so it goes over their face.
Yes. Go ahead and give me a move.
Damn it. 5, 6, 7.
Oh, so 7's a success, but there's a complication. You are a squirrel. You are trying to do it.
Very heavy.
But you have spent some time with this small human, and she is a bit of a squirrel whisperer. And somehow you are able to convey to her what it is that you want to be done. So she, like any child would, just kind of and grabs it and then pulls up a coat and then flings it. And,
I'm still holding on.
Oh no, you fall in the pocket and you're flung away as well. The good news is this girl has a good arm, and it does hit one of these men in gray in the face, and he kind of just and then flings it off as well. And you go flying through space. You see this, Paisley. We have a moment of drama as this child's coat with Dampus in the pocket is flung over the side, over the railing, and then down to certain death. But it gets caught in the escalator.
Remember me.
Right. Oh yeah, there's one of those Die Hard scenes where just your head and arms are poking out of the pocket as you fall, but the sleeve of the coat catches in this series of stairs that seem to move as if by magic. And then you come back into frame as you are riding the escalator up to the next floor. Paisley, what do you do?
I would like to get onto the magical stairs.
Yes.
And chase after Dampus.
Let's see how well you do.
All right. All right. You can do it, dice. Or can we? That's a 4. What's our status?
I don't know.
She tries to go down a level, and because it's going up, she just stays in place.
Yes, that could happen if you want to keep it. We do have 2 major boons, though.
I will use a major boon, and we'll see what happens. That's an 11.
Much, much better. So yes, you are able to. We'll say because it's 10 plus is a full success. I will save you, and you leap over the railing onto some sort of projection, and then leap a couple of times, and then you land on the escalator next to Dampus and can reach down with your mouth and pull the coat up. So Dampus, you have been, and then of course the men in gray come up to the railing and point and yell, and people kind of look and are very confused. And then we lose sight of you as you go up to the 3rd floor.
Aha!
Yes.
Wave goodbye to the security.
So now
people.
you have a bunch of coats. What are you going to do?
Well,
think about what your plan is next. Hunk and Rakan, you are making your way towards the center, yes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You go, I don't know, not very far when you start hearing racket behind you and blaring of alarms and things. Maybe that's just part of the Christmas season. Maybe that's how they celebrate. It's probably all the other people looking for Carol.
Probably.
They're sounding the alarm because it's time to look for Carol.
Yes. It's like the start. It's like the start of the Carol hunting.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. We arrived just on time.
Good.
Right.
So what do you do?
We look for the throne and the big tree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's quite obvious where it is. I mean, you probably have to search for a bit. But you go around a corner, and you can see kind of off in the distance, they're glittering magically, just like a piece of this massive tree. So you know you're on the right direction. But a human, comes up to Rakan and grabs you by the paw and begins leading you in that direction. And they're making that noise they make when they're trying to communicate. And it doesn't seem to be happy.
Oh, no.
It seems to be scolding you.
Okay.
And it like takes your hand and it looks down. It's like, oh. It's kind of good because your little knobby little furry hand. But it seems to be, it perhaps, because, raccoons can stand on their hind legs, especially when they're looking.
Yes.
Perhaps it hasn't realized that you aren't a human.
Wow.
Because it does seem to be talking to you like it expects you to understand what it's saying.
I'm going to do what the humans do. I'm just going to nod and just move with it and look back at Honk and be like, listen, just follow me real close, and I think I've gained their trust. I'll get us an audience with the man in the red.
So,
Plan. It's working already.
I would like you both to sneak. Although Rakan is not sneaking, it's more like blending in and not arousing suspicion.
7.
Ooh. What'd you get, Rakan?
12.
Oh, lovely. All right. Rakan, this individual appears to be tired and irritated, and nothing that you do gives it any pause. So it leads you very swiftly towards the center. Honk, you are able to follow along, no problem. You're keeping low because your head is being weighed down by the partially eaten candy apple. And no one seems to be. Most people are looking around. They're not looking down. So you are within sight. You both find yourself overlooking this massive area in the center where there is indeed huge boxes and multicolors and a giant tree. And you do see a throne. And you do see a number of small individuals dressed very much like Rakan. And you see many, many humans in a very, very long line who are slowly waiting and inching forward to take turns sitting on the man in red's lap. It appears that he's like indoctrinating them one by one, Honk. So perhaps he is ritually hypnotizing each of these small humans so they will become his next generation of minions. His power is great and mighty. However, as Honk is about to congratulate himself and Rakan on their successful infiltration of the Red Band's kingdom, you feel a pair of human hands grasp you firmly, and you are tucked under a human arm, and you are whisked away.
Are we being whisked away from the tree?
No, well, you are being led to this moving staircase down to the gathering of other humans dressed in green.
Yeah,
Honk, you are led or carried, I should say, is around the other way and then down a separate set of stairs. There is a pool of water, small. It's a strange color of blue and it smells chemically. And there are a number of other birds in it. They look almost like you, except you know from your time in the park, you know exactly what these are. They are swans.
Oh, my mortal enemy. We've returned to see each other once more.
Yes. Swans are like geese that are above themselves.
Worse, haughty.
Yes. Yes. They think they're all that and they're all super dumb.
All so dumb. And you're out here walking around like they're the prettiest things in the world.
Exactly. Exactly. And these swans look even dumber and even lazier than the swans that you've known in the past. And this human that has picked you up unceremoniously rips the candy apple off your head. Like maybe you lose a feather or two. It pulls out a cloth and just kind of roughly wipes down your feathers while it kind of grumbles to itself. And then it takes you over and it dumps you in the pool with the swans. And then kind of does this at you.
I honk back at it.
Yeah. And it just walks away. So you're now in apparently it's set up a swan pond. I don't know. Mall of America's weird. They have a roller coaster inside. So of course there's a swan pool. And Rakan, you are likewise deposited amongst a bunch of humans who are dressed like you.
Copycats.
Yes. And probably only a few of them realize that maybe something's off with you.
Ah.
So, but both of you can see the throne with the red man. You're a bit further away, Honk, but you can see him and you're on the right level. So you're within reach, but you found yourself entangled in some sort of operation that you're not quite sure what's happening. So put a pin in that. Back up on the third floor, Paisley and Dampus. What do you do?
Gotta fashion this into a bag.
Yeah, it can't be that hard to make a bag. I'll just hold down this edge and then you just make it into a bag. It's very easy.
Just put that
All right.
there.
Give me a move, both of you. Because you're doing this like in the walkway, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. That's what I thought. Like right in front of everyone.
Yeah.
I got a 6.
I got a 4.
8 because of the +2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a 4. This kind of makes sense. I'm going to leave it.
Yeah. You. Yeah, it is not good. You're doing the opposite of helping because you're just like trotting all over them and kicking them, and they just go everywhere. Dampus, you were able to tie the sleeves of 2 of these coats together, which then promptly Paisley kicks off into the distance. So you have dispersed your load of coats.
Mm.
Well, sorry. Let me just get those 2 right over here, and I'll go over there. And then I look up. I think there's also those cookie stores. You know, the Nestle Toll House
100%.
cookie stores. Like, I go to pick up the
American
jacket,
cookie.
and I look up, and it's just like giant cookies, and I'm like, this is it. This is it. We'll just make them right here. They already know how to make giant sweets. We just go use their ovens. Well, then we don't need these jackets.
Yes.
I'll toss it over my shoulder anyway, because I mean, we got them. So
That one falls off and hits some shopper in the head below. And then I kind of hold it and go, oh, it's the size I was looking for. And sticks it in the back.
So let's just sneak back there. We'll make the cookie quick. We'll go get that Santa and we'll just go pick up the cookie once we're done. They need to bake for a while, so it'll be fine.
Well, here's the thing, though. As you approach, they actually make big cookies. And I don't mean big, I mean big. You can see in a display case a cookie that is, I mean, you can't see on screen, but it's, more than a foot across. It is the largest cookie you've ever seen. Of course, you've only seen cookies a few times, but it is definitely the largest cookie you've ever seen. So you have a choice of taking the large cookie or attempting to make an even larger one.
I mean, I could just take this large cookie. I'm sure no one else has seen a cookie this big. Have you ever seen a cookie this big, Dampus?
Nope. It counts as you cooking it as long as you put stuff on it.
Correct. We'll just get some of the decorating stuff and find that apple and put it right on there.
So,
all right.
So you can see inside a glass case, there is one really large cookie. And you can see someone at a counter in the back who does have little bags of colorful fluid that they're squeezing over a bunch of small cookies that are unironically shaped like trees with little stars on top.
All right, Dampus. Go get one of those color bags back there, and I'll sneak in and get the cookie. And then we'll go decorate it somewhere else so they don't get suspicious.
All right.
We're all very sneaky, especially me, the alpaca, with a child on my back.
Yeah, give me some sneaks.
Uh-oh. I got a 6. I think my sneak is +1, so 7.
Okay.
I got an 8.
All right. Cool. So there's going to be consequences.
Consequences for our actions.
It's fine. Well, so Dampus, you just kind of scamper, and there's little tables and chairs, and there's some people sitting there who are apparently having cookies for lunch. Not the weirdest thing that happens at the Mall of America, but you were able to get back to that counter unnoticed, and even kind of scramble up a wire or something to get onto the actual counter. And you are just sneaking over to grab one of the bags with the colored stuff when the human reaches out and grabs the bag and knocks you off, and you fall into a bowl and begin to slowly sink.
Quicksand! No! Be this way.
Squirrel's greatest enemy, quicksand.
They really did overhype that growing up. I thought it was going to be more of a problem in my adult life.
Yes, you are slowly sinking into cookie batter.
Maybe I can eat way up.
I mean, maybe. So, are you going to Paisley? You see this? Like you're keeping an eye out as you're kind of just walking nonchalantly, stopping every once in a while, walking over in that general direction. You do see Dampus give you a little thumbs up and then immediately get knocked back and fall into a big old bowl full of cookie batter. So what do you do collectively?
All right, it's time to unleash this child. And I'm just going to get back there and kneel down next to the open. I presume there's a way to, I assume a human can figure out how to open a display cabinet, but this child is now inside a cookie store, and I'm giving them an easy access to go get some cookies.
I think you probably have to be real cute to convince them.
Yeah. Just super cute, just looking adorable.
I think you have to look you really cutely, you gotta have that. You gotta have a cookie.
You gotta try to grab a little cookie. I rolled a what is this? 8.
All right. So, well, the child gets the message, and also probably is very attracted to the idea of cookies. And indeed does go in and start grabbing. The problem is the child immediately grabs the big cookie and just starts breaking off huge chunks of it. And like slamming some of it into his mouth, like trying to feed some of it to you. Before you can try to intervene, it's broken this thing into 10 pieces.
Well, we'll have to make a big cookie then, I guess.
Yes.
Well, that's all right. Well, they have ingredients around here somewhere.
I mean, your friend is drowning in them.
Oh, right. The plan of me rescue. I'll just go over then and get Dampus out, I guess.
Well, Dampus has found the raw ingredients for cookies.
Remember me a second time.
Right. No roll needed. You're able to reach down and grab Dampus's, I don't know what they have, claws, paws, whatever.
Oh.
And pull them out. Like just as the cookie batter slowly, like it's one of those like comically long death scenes. It's like, oh, I'm dead. Oh. And then you realize you haven't sunk all the way in yet, and you're like, "Oh no, I'm really dying this time." It's like, "Oh, come on!" It's like slowly and
Gotta
gently.
do the Terminator thumbs up, and then
yes. But just as the dough or whatever covers over Dampus's head, you reach down and pluck Dampus from the certainty of death, and Dampus is now, a ball of dough.
delicious.
Super delicious. But yes, so you now have a squirrel dipped in batter in your mouth. But this is not the state fairy, so you can't deep fry it.
Yeah.
So that's next episode. But you do have this big bowl of cookie dough that only has a little bit of squirrel fur in it right in front of you.
A flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just put it on a tray.
There are trays.
All right, just upend that and smoosh it a little. Get those hoof prints all over it. Beautiful, beautiful. And then it goes in the hot box.
Yes, you've seen this done before. Are you helping Dampus?
Yeah, of course. Throwing some random stuff in, of course.
Yes. Well, why don't you go ahead and both give me move, I think.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Ooh.
Oh, I got 10.
Excellent. So it makes sense that you're not quite super successful, Dampus, because you probably weigh 3 times what you did before because you're covered in dough. So mostly what you do is just kind of wallow around and leave smears of hair and batter everywhere. But eventually, you are able to, the person who was decorating and all the other people have been attracted to the child that got into the cookie cabinet. So you're able to do all this, and now they're having some conversation about what the child's parent is. So while that is happening, you are able to make a massive mess, but get a significant dollop of dough into the oven.
Yeah. And then we just turn a knob, and we'll come back when we're done with the man on the throne.
Yeah.
It'll be done by then.
Go ahead and give me a move.
Oh, are you done?
No, you gotta
it takes
wait
a while.
for the love to bake in.
It's like, it's probably done. It's like still goop.
No. You wait for the love to bake in. I got a 6.
I got a 5. Oh, 6, 7 because of the +2.
Oh, that's fine. Cool. Major Bane. So Dampus, you're able to get up and like move it, get it situated. But then you're kind of stuck to it. And you're kind of sliding down. And so Paisley, being very, very helpful, kind of grabs you again and moves you. What the camera sees, but you do not, is that as your sticky little paws are pulled away, you crank the knob all the way as far as it can possibly go. So yeah.
Faster.
Yeah. Well, you didn't do it on purpose, but maybe it will kick faster. In fact, it will certainly. Things will happen much faster. Cool. So, Paisley, you know enough about how this works because you're hippie and or prepper owners before would often bake things. You know this is going to take a while. So what do you all do?
Well, I still need to find my nutcracker.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good idea. We'll go find that.
Excellent. So you're going to go find a nutcracker because you've solved
Yep.
the cookie equation.
Yeah,
Okay,
One
back.
with a mustache.
Yes, of course. Back to the ground floor in the central atrium. Honk is in a swan pond, and Rakan is surrounded by humans dressed as elves. What do you do?
Can I see Honk from where I'm at?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Actually, it looks like there's a lot of honks. And that's not true. It looks like there's honk and things that look like honk, but are significantly fancier. You can tell from a distance that they're just better somehow.
Kind of wish those were my friend. Anyway, let's see. Honk made distraction for us in the beginning, so I feel like maybe I should make a distraction and call those future minions over here to get them away from the throne. So what I'll do is I'll stand up on my back legs, be bipedal, and announce to them that I am the great Judy Garland, and you must listen to me.
So you begin chittering at them.
Yes.
Okay.
I learned that you have to have a name of fear from Honk when we were living in the pet place.
Okay.
And if you announce it very loudly, they will listen.
Well, the people dressed in green next to you certainly do look, and some of them who hadn't noticed before that somehow hadn't noticed that you're a raccoon begin to realize. It starts to kind of dawn on them that something is not entirely right with you. Maybe a few of the small ones in line look in that general direction because you're causing a ruckus, but raccoons aren't like super loud. But yeah, you're certainly attracting some attention, but you realize that it's more just like confusion. It's not the sort of massive ruckus that you would expect from like a serious honk attack. Distracting is not one of your key skills.
No, it's not.
You're more the shady type. So, but you have attracted some attention. Would you like to continue, or do you have another tactic you'd like to try?
There's like these striped things that I'm seeing.
Yes.
I should probably take those away from the people. They don't need those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
those,
good.
Hook things.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So you will then make a break for it and begin attempting to snatch candy from the hands of babes, which is fine. So go ahead and see how nimble your little hands are.
I need to use a major boon.
All right.
Okay, I got a 9 now.
All right. Well, the good news is you are very successful dressed as one of Santa's elves at expressing Santa's displeasure. Perhaps these were the naughty children that the song sings about. So you have stolen candy from a number of children as you chitter in glee. We have a scene of probably 4 women with asymmetrical bobs and dark roots, blonde hair, immediately seeking the manager to complain that one of the elves is running around frightening their children. And it's starting to cause a bit of a ruckus. The downside is it's still a small human, but it's larger than many of the other small humans. And it puts up a fight. So you go to grab the candy out of its hand, and it puts up a fight, and it just begins to yell at you, and it turns red in the face. And this is going to be a scrap. It starts trying to kick at you. It's not giving up that candy cane.
I'm going to hiss at it. Raccoons hiss.
Yes. We'll say, because this is a physical thing, go ahead and give me a move.
Okay.
See if your body posture is enough to scare this creature.
9.
All right. You do the thing that your instinct takes over, and you drop down on all fours and you begin hissing at it, and your back bows up, and you do everything you can to puff yourself up and look bigger, and begin kind of stamping around. And perhaps you don't know your own strength, but you begin to rip the seams of this green costume that has kept you safe and hidden among the humans. So now you look like some sort of small person dressed as an elf turning into a werewolf. That is sufficient to scare the large, small human, and have it let go of the candy cane. So success. But it is also sufficient to attract a lot of attention, because you are now a wild, potentially rabid animal in an elf costume surrounded by children. So there's a lot of screaming. And I think you probably have been around humans enough and have heard this phrase. You don't know what it is, but you hear a number of humans say something that sounds like rabies.
I'm not a rabbit, but that means I have to go to the tree.
Yes, they keep calling you a rabbit. It must be a rabbit.
No, those are terrible creatures. I don't know what they look like, but they're terrible, and they do something with eggs or something.
Yes.
To the tree.
That's the episode after next one. Anyway, so you're just going to run off to the tree. Okay, give me another move.
8.
Cool. We'll get back to the consequence, but you just hightail it out of there. You're backing around. You've got a swarm of people around you, and then you just turn around, turn tail, and then run straight, dodge between the boxes, and you are now at the trunk of that tree. You can hear lights, and there's tinkling of ornaments all around you. Where are you going?
Probably gotta go up to the top of the tree.
All right.
I need that star.
Yeah. So you're climbing that tree. Honk, you have observed all this, although it's hard for you because the swans' necks are ever so much longer than yours. And they keep flapping their wings lazily, and their wings are just a little bit bigger than yours.
Ugh, show-offs. I'm gonna look around. Is there like an easy way to leave the swan pool, or are there like people posted around?
I mean, there's a bunch of people around, but it's not like they're swans. They're dumb. They're not even captive. They don't even realize that they're captive. They're just sitting there paddling around, pooping in the water. So you've been dumped not only into water next to swans, but you've been dumped into swan poop water.
Ugh. The humans here are so dumb. They don't even know what they've done.
Right.
I think I'm just gonna walk out. If I don't see a good enough reason to not to, I'm just gonna walk out. And as I walk out, I turn to the swans and I say, "You could live such better lives, more fulfilled lives, if you actually cared."
It is true. It is true. This is a little bit of a stretch. I would like you to roll honk though. Because you're technically honking at them.
That's a 9.
It's a 9. All right. Well, as preening and self-important and egotistical and shallow as you know swans to be, something about your honking seems to touch them. And they watch you in your disgust and disdain for them, like literally just hop out of the pool and begin waddling away. And you can almost see the tiny little wheels and their tiny little brains grinding. And And they do what birds do, and they begin to follow you. You now have an entourage.
Just as I planned.
Yes.
Every good evil overlord needs some henchmen, and I like dust off my wings as I keep walking.
Well, except that these are the worst henchmen ever because they're swans.
Yes, but we all have to start somewhere.
I'll have to start somewhere. So you are leading a procession of swans through the Atrium Mall of America. You've seen this move before. A few humans start to kind of try to do this at you. And of course, you guys just completely ignore it. Where are you going? What are you doing?
I think I'm going to go straight for where the throne is. I'm seeing the commotion there. I'm seeing that people have kind of leapt up and they're trying to get to where Racken is up in the tree. I think they're trying to prevent Racken from falling, which is so funny because Racken's not going to fall.
Right.
And so I'm gonna walk over there and see if I can find where the claw man is.
Yes. You can see him. And the good news is that the line to see him is significantly smaller because a lot of the small and large humans have scattered because of the ruckus. So go ahead and give me a sneak just to see how close you're able to get before someone sees you.
13.
Oh, yeah. So the man in red is probably standing. Like he stood up from his throne and he's probably talking to some of the people in green around him. And just kind of seems nonplussed. And literally doesn't see you until you're right up on him. What do you do when you get there?
Oh my god, hi, I'm such a fan of yours. Do you know where Carol is?
All right. I think that's honking.
That's definitely honking. I think Honk is kind of like gushing. He's heard all of these stories about this evil overlord. He's everything Honk wants to be.
Yes.
And Honk knows that like he has so much potential. He's just not there yet, like this claw man is.
Yes.
We wouldn't happen to have any more
We do have one more.
boons, do we?
Yes, we do.
I'll take a major boon because that
All
was
right.
that was 2 1s.
Oh, yeah. Can't get worse than that.
And that was a honk.
Yeah.
11.
Ooh. It's a very, very effective honk. So you go to express your admiration, but all that comes out is this hideous, trumpeting, hissing noise that sounds like the gates of hell have opened. And the man did not know you were there. So he's just looking out at it like, what's going on? And then he just hears this ruckus, which of course sets the swans to making their much more refined, much more musical sounds, which creates even more of a clash. So it really does sound like total chaos, like right in his ear. So he freaks out and runs away.
I think I'm gonna like try to grab onto him, and I grab onto his like red like coat instead.
Yes. Yeah, yes. As a benefit of rolling really high, I will say that he rips off. You don't know what this is. This is some sort of power that he has. He is transforming in front of you because he reaches up and grabs a significant chunk of his face and hat and takes off, and it's an entirely different person underneath. He's some sort of shapeshifter, and he flings it at you and then goes to run away. And we have one of those moments where, you know, his black boots are on the pavement, and you've got a hold of his coat, and eventually he's got to get away from whatever this monster is attacking him. So he shimmies out of it. Not a consequence, but unfortunately, because you're still pretty sticky, whatever this that he was wearing on his head is now stuck to you.
I've been chosen. He's
Maybe.
seen my talent, and I've been chosen.
Maybe.
We didn't even need Carol.
Maybe you're Carol. You found the inner Carol.
All along. And because, of course, we've now found Carol, I'm going to, in my new robes of power, that the great shapeshifter with claws, the great overlord has gifted me onto me. I hop onto his throne and I start singing the song of my people
Yes.
in celebration, and also so Paisley and Dampus can eventually find us.
Yes. Yes. Back up on the third floor. I think we have a bit of a tone shift. So as you await the baking of your wonderful magical cookie, you wander around a bit, and something feels off to Paisley. There's just something's wrong. You're not sure what it is. There's some, like, the cinematographer puts in one of those like dim lenses, and there's a lot of like pull focus and fancy stuff and ominous music. And you're not quite sure where it's coming from, but Dampus, you see that there's a store nearby with lots of pictures of people that look just like Paisley.
Paisley, it's a store for us.
What do you mean a store for? Turn. Look.
Slow motion turn. It is horrifying. You just see piles and skeins of the hair of your people laid out for these humans to paw through. It's as if pawing you wasn't enough. They've taken the fur, the hair from your alpaca brethren and made it into all sorts of various items for them to, like, one of them's fondling it right now.
Want a bag?
Oh, no, goodness. Look, they've made miniature mockeries of me.
Yeah. There are little small alpacas made of alpaca wool, which is just deeply disrespectful.
Horrifying.
There's a
You
child
think they
that's
would-
carrying one of them under its arm, and it's eating a chocolate ice cream cone, and the chocolate drips very slow. Again, close up slowly, like drips onto the alpaca, and we hear like rushing strings of tragedy.
It's right, like on its eye too, so it looks
Right,
like
it
it's
looks like a little chocolate
tear.
tear. This is a war crime.
Disgusting. What would you do if they made a bunch of little squirrels and they dressed them up like this as little mockeries, took some squirrel fur and just put it around? No. This is bad. Let's just close this store. It'll be fine. You can just pull down the gate thing. Or smash the
Sure.
windows, whichever.
Well, which do you want to do?
I'm gonna try to pull it down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try to pull down the gate thing. I definitely can reach it.
Yeah.
There's probably technically a button, but you know.
What'd you get?
Let me see.
Oh yeah. This is a 5. I can't reach anything.
Okay, so you're trying to figure out, and you've got like you're trying to like boost Dampus up high enough, and you're having to kind of hop up on your hind legs to get them up high enough. And then there is a little ring, and then Dampus grabs a hold of the ring, and you're like, okay, great, pull it down. Then Dampus is just hanging there. You have attracted the attention of the shopkeepers, who their eyes just gleam when they see you, Paisley, because you're very, very cute. You have a few sticky
Yes.
spots,
Yes.
but you have been very well cared for. And it's almost like they see little dollar signs roll up and through their eyes when they see you, and they begin speaking very softly towards you as they move in a sinister fashion in your direction.
I almost got it. It's budging. I feel it. It's moving. I've been
I would
working out,
like to
so-
make a complaint to the management.
With your
I say.
hooves.
With my hooves.
All right, I think that's a move.
Have at ye. A 9.
Okay, great. Yes, you have Dampus. You from your position dangling above, just see this look come over Paisley that you've never seen before. Because Paisley's always so nice and kind and genteel, but this look of steely determination goes over her alpaca face. The long lashed eyes narrow, and she rears back and charges into the store. You can't quite see because you're kind of spinning from this chain, so you only get a few glimpses. But Paisley is going cray in that store.
You better
Full
hurry,
goblin
I
mode.
almost got this.
Full goblin mode.
Yeah.
You are knocking over everything. You're kicking at people. It is causing quite the commotion. And that was a 9. So the consequence is that you are tangled up in an alpaca pashmina. And as you try to get it off you, it winds up covering your head. So now you are in a literal blind rage.
They're taking me captive.
Yes.
Dampus, save me, save me. I say it, knocking more displays over.
I drop down like, oh, you're lucky. I almost had that close.
Yes.
I go try to help remove whatever's on her head.
Give me a move.
Yeah, that's a little better. I think I have +2. Okay, so 8.
Okay. That's successful. There's going to be a consequence.
Door closes. I loosened it.
No. Not exactly, but close. So yes, you are able to leap from display to display, get up on Paisley's back, work the pashmina down so there's at least an area for one of Paisley's eyes to get out, and kind of guide Paisley through. But yes, you're a wily, very smart creature. And you have seen your old neighbor. Like, you know that when you push buttons, things happen. Especially buttons that glow. He has a whole bunch of little boxes that he sits at all day, and he has a bunch of little buttons that glow that he pushes.
Everyone talks about nuts.
Yeah, for sure. And you see, and so you know that when he pushes buttons, good things happen. And you do happen to see a glowing button that ordinarily you wouldn't be able to reach, but because you're on Paisley's back, it is just within reach of your little fist as you exit the store.
Definitely pressing the button.
Yes, and there's a grinding sound as the grate that you had been hanging from begins to close. The proprietors and customers of the store that you were just in are all caught up and covered in things. They've got displays on top of them. They're unable to get out. The consequence to you, however, is that this is apparently like, it's not like individual gates. Actually, several gates begin to close. The store on either side. Not quite sure what the store on this side does, but as they close, you see some humans kind of getting out. It's like, oh, this isn't good. But you hop off of Paisley in triumph. And then you look to the store to the left, and it is a store full of nutcrackers. And you realize it just as the gate slams shut. The cost.
I shouldn't have loosened that gate with my strength.
Oh, there. Now, thank you for saving me from that horrible
I need a
commotion.
minute. I need a minute.
What's the look around at it? Oh, I see. Well, it's all right. There's a nutcracker in many stores, I'm sure.
Yeah. And if it makes you feel any better, none of them were exceptionally large. You can still see through the little grates. Like, as you kind of like talk yourself down for the disappointment, these all look about the same as the ones that were at the people's house that held you captive.
None of them have a special mustache.
But some of them have mustaches, but they don't have quite the right mustache.
Yeah.
So you're finding a way to console yourself that maybe these just aren't the right ones. That maybe the right one is still out there waiting for you.
I didn't want these ones anyway.
At this point, you hear just a continuous series of strange commotion. You're not quite sure what it is. At first it's largely human sounds, and then there's a strange kind of hissing and a child yelling, and then you hear the unmistakable honking of one honk solo.
Oh, good. Honk's been doing things. Let's go check it out. Just trot that way.
You trot that way. You have figured out how the escalators work. So you run to the rail, you see below. You see that Honk has ensconced themselves atop a throne. Their entire head is just buried in this white stuff with what is probably a cap hanging off to the side. They are kind of have a red robe draped over themselves, and you can understand them. So they're proclaiming themselves to their new subjects. But the audience just sees this goose gone mad with a bunch of swans trumpeting around. And you can see that the tree in the center is kind of being shaken from within. There is not yet quite a general stampede, but many of the humans appear to be moving rapidly away. And one of the reasons the tree is shaking is that people are bumping into it and the wires that hold it steady. Rakan, you are being jostled a bit inside the tree. What do you do?
Continue climbing up to the top.
Go ahead and give me a move.
Uh-oh. Got a 5.
Oh, no. Let's see. What is our status? Now, we do have 3 minor boons. If you would like to spend 2 of those, you could get up to a 7. So not an abject failure.
Yes, I'll do that.
All right. Actually, Misha, would you do that one?
Yeah.
I forget how to do multiples. So yeah, it is a harrowing journey, especially as you get up higher, because what near the base of the tree was just a little bit of back and forth and jostling. Up to the top, it's full on swaying. There's a lot of tinkling, and you keep getting caught up in these strings of lights. So you basically just have to full court sprint up, because you realize that this is not a safe situation. And then you find yourself clinging to the top of the tree. It is a massive star. It actually doesn't feel like it's all that heavy, but it's glittery and sparkly. And for a moment, you feel a sense of victory. And then a little bit of nausea as you are holding onto the star and you're being rocked back and forth ever more violently. As Honk proclaims themselves, you are now in the same area. What is everyone doing?
Do we see Racken or everything?
I think in Honk's proclamation, Honk mentions something about Rakan being in the tree, and certainly by the time that Rakan gets up to the star, you can see your friend Rakan is clinging to this star that is whipping back and forth. People have now realized that the tree is whipping back and forth, which makes them seem to be more agitated. They begin stumbling over each other, knocking into more of the guide wires that are holding it up.
I got him.
You're trying to catch him. What is everyone
Spotting
doing?
him. Yeah.
Can I free the star from the tree?
Give me a move.
Eight.
All right. Yes. You free the star from the tree.
Huzzah!
And oh yes, it's not super heavy, but it is also attached to the ceiling. Like there's like you didn't realize it because you're holding it aside, but as you're like climbing around trying to free it, and kind of trying to separate it and pull it off the top of the tree, you realize that it actually has some very fine wires that are attached up into the metal girders of the ceiling. And as you're trying to, the good news is that this rocking back and forth actually helps you, because the tree, instead of pulling the star off the tree rocks out from under the star. So now you are suspended from the ceiling holding onto the star as the tree whips wildly underneath you.
Quick, Paisley, get my plane.
Your plane, it crashed, Racon. Your plane crashed. You're just gonna have to jump with the star. We'll catch you.
Aim for the water.
I'm gonna get my swan minions to like do what Dampus was doing the like, okay, if he falls, we got him. They're big, they're brawny, they're pretty, they can do that.
Sure.
They're expendable.
Yeah. Our first minions.
Exactly, right? They're starter minions.
Exactly. We can upgrade from here.
Exactly.
And they're swans.
Yes. So you will lead a bunch of them, and perhaps they will pick up a discarded banner and hold it between their beaks underneath Rakan. What do you do, Rakan?
I don't want to drop the star. I want the star.
Well, this thing isn't super heavy, and the lines holding it are actually very.
Chew through it. Bite it.
Yeah, with your claws or your teeth, it shouldn't be difficult.
All right, I will chew through it.
All right.
But if this ruins my teeth, then you guys are feeding me Fancy Feast.
Well, it's more like it actually gives you a flossing because it's fishing wire.
No, I need that. That's what makes me taste good.
Right. So go ahead and give me a move on that one.
11.
Ah, excellent. So it's attached by 2 wires. You bite the first one and you're like, yeah. And then you realize, oh no, as you begin to swing like a pendulum back and forth. But you are very canny. And you swing back and forth. And with the help of Paisley, Dampus, and Honk helping you time it, you are able to time the biting of the second wire such that with a little bit of a pinwheel spin and a little bit of adjusting of the swans holding the banner between them, you are able to land more or less safely from the 3-story fall, because why not? You're
Perfect.
right.
Oh, I broke this can of Fancy Feast I was saving.
Yes, and one of the packets of Fancy Feast that you had with you now bursts. So makes the star better because the star is now covered in cat food.
No, it doesn't.
Honk, Paisley, and Dampus rush up to see if Rakan is fine, but Rakan is slowly licking the star to get the cat food off of it. And now your tongue is covered in glitter. Yes. So now you are standing, you're at your destination. You did want to come here. Rakan has his star. Honk has taken up the mantle of the man in red with claws. Dampus. There are a lot of very large nutcrackers here. As big as humans.
Do they have a mustache?
Yes. Massive mustaches, in fact. Most of the ones that you've seen before, the small ones, it's like painted on, or it's just like a little bit of a lump. Yeah. These are massive, freestanding. They're cartoonishly large.
I will climb up and inspect it.
Give me a move.
7, 8, 9.
Yes, you do. And then there's a little wee sound, and it slowly begins to become softer and softer. As your little claws pierce its flesh, and whatever animating force was holding it erect escapes it, and it collapses into a disgusting mess. You've murdered. But there's like 10 more. You've murdered one of them, but you have learned that you have to be cautious. They're apparently very fragile, which is confusing because how can they crack so many nuts? But you don't know. You're a squirrel. What do you do?
True. Well, now we just have to carry one out of here. Paisley, you can carry this, right?
Oh, of course, dear.
I would, but I'm kind of sore from the gate, getting that gate down. Yes.
Yes. I'll just walk over to one and be like, all right, just put it on my back then.
I look at my swan boys. Well,
They look at you back because they're stupid. They have no idea.
go put the nutcracker on her back.
They will
spell out everything for them.
All right. Give me a honk, and anyone else.
I'd help,
give me a honk. Everyone who's assisting, give me a move, and or Rakan hands if you want to help. And Paisley, just stand there. No, Paisley, be cute.
I got an 8 as well.
Okay.
I got a 10.
6.
Okay.
The problem is, it doesn't matter how good we do this; it's gonna unplug.
Well, it's
very cute.
It's fully inflated, so I will say that none of the consequences are that you have pierced it. There are only 2, and Paisley is being super duper adorable. The only consequences are 2. One, it takes a long time because you guys are animals trying to get a 6 foot tall inflated nutcracker on an alpaca's back. Maybe you had, you have that pashmina, so it takes some time for Dampus and Rakan to realize that they can unravel the pashmina to make little ties to actually tie it onto your back. So yes, you now have a giant inflated nutcracker tied to your back, but that takes a good long while. Honk, the downside of your failure is they completely misunderstand your intention. And begin just running crazy. Like they completely, like they've stopped paying attention to you. Like something about your earlier words about like freedom is right away. They think that you're encouraging them to live their best swan lives. And so they just start running around, flapping around, doing whatever. A couple of them try to flap up into the tree, which is not their natural habitat, which is causing it to sway even more. They're just being completely worthless, which I'm sure is quite disgusting to you as their leader.
Ugh, typical.
Yes, yes. It is about that time when another alarm goes off. You've all been very distracted by this caper. There's a strange smell in the air. So it's kind of sweet, but off somehow. And there's a bit of a mist kind of rolling out from the 3rd floor and kind of gathering up in this atrium. What do you do? Well, let's see. Your cookie isn't ready yet, Paisley. Dampus has their nutcracker. Honk has hired and fired some minions. And Rakan has their star. Is there anything else that you needed to do while you're waiting for your cookie?
Well, we need to find Carol, of course.
We found Carol.
Did you find Carol?
We did find Carol. I like flap around, show off my robe, show off like the magic hair that's now like stuck on like the side of my face. And I go, Carol was inside of me all along.
Well, then we have to sing you a song, I think.
I hop back on the throne.
Right. Music. I'm sure there is some music stand because they do the concerts,
yes.
Of course.
Yes, of course.
Which I'm sure there was one setting up and everyone's run away. So we can just go ahead and grab their music. It's beautiful. It's perfect. Little folders.
Of course.
We'll just grab these, hand them out to everybody.
Yes.
And then you just follow along and sing the song.
Yes. Is there any particular song that you think is there? I'm not going to make people sing. But just
Yeah.
curious if there's any particular song that you think might be on the music stands. This is a test to see if anyone knows any Christmas music, because I do not.
The sailing song.
Maybe it's cold outside.
No, I don't. Well, maybe depending on
12
who's
Days
singing
of
it.
Christmas.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
12 Days of Christmas seems like a good one.
Okay, because it's
songs
animal
are-
themed.
Song.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
A
beautiful.
lot of birds.
Yes, lots of birds. So it's an appropriate tribute to Han Solo,
AKA Carol.
aka Carol. And I mean, there's geese a laying, there's swans a swimming, which maybe has a little bit of a note. Maybe Honk
Partridge
tells
in
you
a
to
pear
skip that
tree.
part. And the good news is it's also very, very long and highly
Yes.
repetitive.
Yes.
So, but you are engrossed. It does not occur to you that you haven't seen a human in a while, and that the sounds in the background are getting louder and louder. And on the final, whatever the thing is,
12 Lords of Leaping.
but the
think-
what's the last the
oh.
one you end on? The
And a
Partridge in a pear tree.
partridge in a
Partridge in a
pear
Yes.
tree.
perfect.
And rap.
And as soon as that extended tree, which is just, people barking and chittering and screeching and stuff like that, the tree collapses behind you. The camera sees a long shot of looking at you, and you all go tree, and the tree collapses behind you. There are sparks everywhere as all the electrics go off. But you don't have to worry about that catching on fire, because the entire third floor has been, because of your whole situation with the oven, has been approaching critical mass. And as if in applause to your wonderful performance, there is a massive boom. And you all stop and you look around, and then you look up and you see little things falling towards you. You're not quite sure what it is. Is it snow? It doesn't quite look like snow. And maybe Paisley has seen humans do this. And maybe Paisley sticks out her tongue to catch one of these strange kind of brown snowflakes on her tongue. And you do, and you catch it, and it tastes just like cookies. So, as our lovely troop of wild animals have just burned down the Mall of America, caused a massive stampede, made the national news most likely, we are left with Dampus on Paisley's back, hugging the giant nutcracker, Rakan licking cat food off the giant star, Honk Solo plotting for the next band of minions that are better than, smarter than swans. And you know what? Maybe these are your minions. Starting to think it's like, we work really well together. They just did sing me that song. So maybe those minions I was looking for were with me the whole time. It's been a real journey of inward discovery for Honk Solo. And Paisley may not have gotten the biggest single cookie, but has certainly caused the largest cookie-related tragedy in Mall of America history. So your little trip for the holidays will go down in history. And I think that is where we will end. Cool. Good job, everyone. Even more chaos.
Such holidays.
Perfect.
Such a
Happy
good job.
holidays. We burned up the mall.
Yeah. But you accomplished all of your goals, including singing Christmas carols at the Mall of America. So fantastic. Excellent. Yes, Tiny, maybe the minions were the friends we made along the way. That's the moral of the story. Cool. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and thanks to you guys for playing. And I hope you enjoyed our holiday themed, very uplifting, very appropriate story. Cool. Hey, let's go around in a circle and let everyone know who you are and where people can find you. We'll start with SJ this time. Sorry, we'll start with Nyx this time. Where can people find Nyx?
Here, or the back of my chair when I least expect it.
Or on your head?
Yeah, she likes to walk on my head. I am SJ, or SJ_sidekick. You can find me usually here. I don't actually stream. Then I'm SJ sidekick everywhere else. Yep.
All right,
Victor.
I'm Victor, and I can be found at evil_coded across all social media sites, except for my Tumblr, which I will not be revealing here. Maybe next time. And I might start streaming again. I recently made a new Twitch account because I got locked out of my old one, and I can't be bothered to go through Twitch support. So that'd be Evil Coded Plays. We'll see when that actually starts up, though.
Awesome.
I'm Backwin. I stream 3 days a week or more. It depends. At the Backwin. Most of my socials are the Backwin or the variation. They're all different. I'm just gonna lie to you. They're all different. Nobody knows what they are. I can't remember them. That's all I got.
All right.
And you're a real raccoon.
No, I'm a penguin.
Oh, a penguin in a raccoon suit. Sorry.
Back one.
Very clear. I'm Misha, or Misha_less3 here on Twitch. I don't really stream. I am at Misha Weha on Twitter and Tumblr. Not that I go there very often, though I post some art stuff there. You can usually find me around here. I'll probably be back sometime in January, I'm guessing, whenever we get around to scheduling so many things. And then Zero.
Yes. I am Zero or Zero Delight or Michael or DM or GM or Keeper or Narrator or Master of Ceremonies or Captain of the Clown Car or whatever is required. Yeah, so this has been our second delve into FOMOsapiens one-shot. I don't think I mentioned at the outset, but this, the rule set, or someone did, but the rule set is peace was not an option, or peace was never an option. It is available. I think I got it on itch.io, and I think it's like free or like incredibly cheap. So if you want a 3-page game that you can pick up and play with friends and have a silly time without having to have like 50 pounds of rule books and special equipment, all you really need is a 3-page PDF and a couple of D6s and an imagination and an orientation towards chaos, and you can play this game too. It's a fun one. Next up, not on the calendar, but trying to hit sometime around the Christmas time season, we do have another guest narrator coming in to tell another Christmas story. It's a little game called Silent Night, where there probably will be caroling. But the setting is Silent Hill, so it might have a slightly different theme. There will be chaos, but a lot more blood and gore and horror. So that will be a fun time. And then, of course, there's the new year. And as usual, we keep having more ideas than any of us have time. So the lengthy list, but we will be back, of course, in the new year. So if we don't see you before then, everyone enjoy your holiday time with your friends or family, or even if you're just by yourself watching the YouTube and eating the Haagen-Dazs or whatever makes you happy, have at it. We wish you well, and we will see you all again soon. Who should we go hang out with? We had a bit of a cooking theme, right? For the second one in a row, we could go hang out with Miss Molly Makes, who's making, looks like Southern chicken burgers, cheesecake pots, and something else. That's something different. Because it doesn't look like any of our regular friends are, well, and Sam is up doing RimWorld.
What? Oh, I heard Sam.
Oh, sorry.
Not Sam. I was like,
no, not your, yeah, not your Sam, our Sam.
Not.
Right. And I'm open to any other suggestions.
Sam's great, but not the best raid target.
No. Nope.
Oh, Sam is also up. But yeah, but
Yeah,
we're not going to
but
raid
he
Sam.
will not notice.
Yeah, we're not going to raid Sam. So, do we want food? Do we want Zam? Do we want something else?
Let's try food.
Yeah, food.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's go because it's a little bit of a change. So let's go hang out with Miss. Nope, spell right. Molly makes. Did I get that correct? Yes. Let's just see if that. Yeah, it looks like I did get it correct. Thanks for throwing in the raid calls. Go ahead and grab that one that's up right now. If you are not a sub, grab that second one with the ahoy whale and the die and the hype unicorn. If you are a sub, drop those into Miss Molly Makes chat to let her know that we are here and that we come to share the love and Christmas cheer. Don't tell her that we use cookies to terrorize Christmas shoppers and burn down the Mall of America. Awesome. Well, thanks everyone. We will see you again soon. Bye.